Twins, Ray and Peter, were born 3 months early. At the time of their birth in 1996, their parents had so many questions. Why did they come so early? What did we do wrong? Will they survive? Ray sadly lost his fight with life after 2 weeks in the intensive care. Peter's medical team said, "We've got some good news and bad news. Peter will survive." But Peter's had a severe brain bleed and he's going to have severe cerebral palsy. He won't walk, he won't talk, he will have a profound intellectual disability, he won't be able to go to school. I've got a passport with me tonight and I want you to try and travel forward 6 years. I first met Peter when he was 6. My clinical job was to adjust his wheelchair. It was something like IKEA on steroids. Peter lay beside me on the floor while I made the adjustments, and after an hour and a half of huffing and puffing, I proudly announced, "It's fixed." Now remember, Peter has a profound intellectual disability and can't talk, and upon my proud announcement, he starts groaning. And I realise he wants to tell me something, but can't. So with 20 questions, I finally work out he's pointing to the corner of the room. And there in the corner of the room is a screw to his wheelchair. Gulp. Turns out I'd put 23 back and I was supposed to put 24 back, and Peter had been counting. Now, no child with a profound intellectual disability can count. At that moment, I had as many questions as Peter's parents. Why had this child been diagnosed with a profound intellectual disability? Why had nobody noticed he was bright? Why wasn't he in school? Was this good enough? Could I have a part to play? And under the guidance and wisdom of Professor Anne Cusick, I undertook a PhD at Western Sydney University, and I learned that asking questions can catalyse innovation. Fast forward with me with this passport to 2018. Ray and Peter were born 3 months early. Just prior to their emergency delivery, their mother was given a medication called magnesium sulfate. Ray turned out to be a healthy, happy baby. Peter's medical team said, "We've got some good news and some bad news." The bad news is Peter's had a small brain bleed and he's going to have mild cerebral palsy. The good news is he's going to walk, he's going to talk. We think he can go to school and even university. We've got something difficult to ask you, even though we know this is a really difficult time for you. We're running a world-first clinical trial using stem cells for babies born too early. We don't know if it'll be a cure, but that's the big question we're trying to answer. Is that something you'd like to learn about for Peter? Malcolm X said a passport or education is a passport to the future. Tonight, I'd like to thank Western Sydney University for my passport. And 115 Australian families don't have a child with cerebral palsy this year. And if they knew to say thank you, they'd also say thank you. To the donors in this room, thank you for putting a stamp in somebody's passport tonight. You might just have saved a life or even discovered a cure. Thank you.